In this video clip, we're looking at answering the question, what is tidal curative? This is the first part of that. There will be 2 videos on this, but we need to, I think, answer that question. What is curing tidal? What is tidal curative? From time to time, you're going to see slides, and there are going to be pictures that look sort of medical. In other words, we have a doctor, it looks like, with the stethoscope here. And the reason that I've done that is because we're using the word cure. This class is on curing land titles. You know, the word cure is most often associated with sickness and in health. But the industry that we work at has also chosen to use that same word to cure tidal when tidal is sick, when tidal is unhealthy, when tidal needs to be fixed or cured. Hey, let's say that you're not feeling well, you go to the doctor. You know, there's really 2 steps of what the doctor does. I'm not a physician, so I'm guessing at this, but I think I'm right. The first thing is this: he examines you and figures out what the problem is. In other words, he can't solve the problem unless he figures out what the problem is. But that's the first step, to figure out why you're sick. The second step is to figure out how to fix it. What medications might you need? What other examinations or tests might you need? In other words, there's 2 steps. And both of those are critical. Think about it. Let's say that you're going to the brightest doctor in the city. He can diagnose a problem with pinpoint accuracy in a short period of time. But after his diagnosis of every patient that he sees, he says this: look, here's your problem, but I have no idea how to fix it. What kind of a physician would that be? In other words, there's a 2-step process. And folks, that's true for the land professional when we're called upon to examine tidal that's in need of being cured. We need to do 2 things. We need to figure out what the problem is, and then we need to figure out what steps should be taken in order to cure the defects. Now, just think about this. Just as the steps that are needed to cure a patient would vary depending on what's going on, that's true for land titles too. In other words, think about a doctor that diagnoses every patient correctly but prescribes the same medication for every patient. How effective would that be? Well, it would be ineffective, and it's ineffective in the land profession too. So, you know, it's possible that you're going to go to the doctor, and here's what the doctor says to you. He says that all you need is to go home, take a couple glasses of water, get a lot of sleep, and you're going to be feeling better in a couple days. If you go to the same doctor with a different issue, he might say you need to go home, get plenty of rest, drink plenty of water, but you also need some medication. Now, I want you to think about this as you see this picture of this little child here. If the doctor sent that child home saying just get plenty of sleep and drink lots of water without suturing that lip, you see, different ailments require more severe steps to cure the issue. In some cases, actually this happened to me when my son was young. I took him to the doctor. He had fallen on his bicycle, but I didn't take him to the doctor for that. I took him to the doctor because he was coughing. The doctor was examining him, had my son lie down, and the doctor looked at me. I saw this look in his eyes that I'd never seen before, and he said, "You get this boy to the emergency room as quickly as you can." You see, there are different standards of severity, and we need to handle those. We need to understand when things need to go to the emergency room. So some tidal defects will heal themselves. You know, just take plenty of water and get a lot of sleep, and maybe it'll be fixed tomorrow. Others are going to require action on the part of the land professional. Others are still going to be more serious, and they're going to require greater action. And by the way, there are some problems with title that you can't fix. I can't fix it. In other words, it's the emergency room to where we need to take the title or have other people take the title actually before the court and get a judgment. Now, there's generally 3 remedies possible to satisfy title defects. Number 1, there are certain statutes in title that will fix the title. It's by law. It's like the Marketable Record Title Acts will heal the problem. Now, there are some severe ones to where it needs to be taken to the court. But folks, the majority of all title defects are things that you and I may be called upon to get our hands dirty, and it's going to involve the procurement of certain curative documents. So, here's what I'm going to say. If you're looking at title issues, there's certain variables that you need to look at. The first one is risk. What's the risk for your company? The second is, what's the company policy? And the third is the method that you're going to use to cure the problem. Let's look at them separately. Risk. Categorizing the risk, I think, is very critical. What is the potential litigation for my company if we drill a well on this title issue lease? Company policy. They may have a risk tolerance policy. In other words, they may say, look, if the dollar amount is only at this level, you can handle it this way, but if it's at a higher risk level, you need to take it and fix it some other way. And the third is the method. In other words, is there a document that exists that would cure the title defect, or do you need to create your own curing document? Is judicial action needed to cure?